Wow, so the Eagles just got word of some shocking news with the Super Bowl right around the corner, as one of the NFL's biggest stars just requested a trade, and it seems like the Birds might actually have a very real shot to land him in the offseason. Also, it seems like the Eagles may have found the secrets to taking down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, as just ahead of their Super Bowl 59 clash, it's clear that Philly has a couple of huge advantages. So what exactly are they, and why could they be the keys to the Birds becoming Super Bowl champions? Meanwhile, the Eagles also got some great news before their send-off to New Orleans, as some big developments from practice revealed that multiple injured Eagles will in fact play in the big game. Speaking of which, the Birds also got some promising updates regarding Brandon Graham's status, while they also got a surprise announcement regarding something in the future. So we're going to talk about that and all the other latest Eagles news starting right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And the Birds have made it to New Orleans, as yesterday the team was sent off after a little ceremony at Lincoln Financial Field before they later departed and then eventually touched down safely in the Big Easy. And Brandon Graham made it clear before they left that they were going down there to win, as at the Birds send-off in the link, he said, quote, "We are going to go get this win, get ready for a party on Broad Street." So you gotta love the confidence from BG, and we're gonna get to see what happens when Super Bowl Sunday rolls around in just 6 days. But before we get there, we obviously gotta get through this week of craziness, as it is now Super Bowl week, and the festivities will begin tonight when both the Eagles and Chiefs will take center stage in some massive public interview sessions. Now, for the Birds, the list of guys that will be at the podium came out on Saturday, with those being DeVonta Smith, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Dallas Goedert, Zach Bond, Darius Slay, Nick Sirianni, and Brandon Graham. So I'll be covering all that in my video tomorrow, but today we got plenty of things to go over as well. But first, I just want to take a moment to send my thoughts and prayers to all those affected by the tragic Philly and DC plane crashes of this past week. I mean, it truly is horrible what happened, so if you want to help out, you can go donate to this GoFundMe to help those affected by the DC crash. I'll put a link to that down in the description. And then for the Philly plane crash, Josh Davis of the Philly Special Show actually set up a fundraiser on his video on Saturday, so I'll leave a link to that as well if you want to help out. And again, my prayers are just with everybody that have been affected by these truly tragic situations. But now, getting back into some Eagles football, the Super Bowl may be this week, but we also just got some huge news regarding a game way in the distant future, as Melbourne's Herald Sun just dropped a bombshell a few days ago when they announced that the Eagles and Rams are likely to face off in the NFL's first ever regular season Australia game in Melbourne, which would reportedly take place in October of 2026. So obviously, that's some crazy news, and there's a lot to unpack there, both good and bad. I mean, starting with the good, there is no denying that it would be a really cool experience for the Eagles to play in Australia, especially in front of a crowd of up to 100,000 people in Melbourne's cricket grounds, which is where the game is set to be held. Plus, this would be an extra special experience for Jordan Mailata, as he is, of course, from Australia, so all that makes it sound great. However, on the downside, there is a solid chance that this could mean that the Eagles lose a home game that year, with the Rams set to be a home opponent of the Birds in 2026. Plus, the flight time from Philly to Melbourne is 20 plus hours, so even though the assumption is that the bye week would be right after this game, that travel time is still just absolutely absurd, and there is no doubt that it'd be really, really hard on the players, especially since Melbourne has a 16-hour time difference ahead of Philly, so that's some crazy jet lag. Not to mention that the game itself could be starting at a really weird, inconvenient time in the US. So overall, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of the idea, but it does seem like it's going to happen. So give me your thoughts on that down in the comments. But obviously, that aside, we got much bigger and better things on our minds right now, as the Eagles are about to play in Super Bowl 57 in just 6 days, and before they departed for New Orleans, the Birds got some pretty positive developments from practice, as the team released their final injury report of the week on Friday, and while there were a lot of guys who didn't practice, the good news is that nobody was ruled out of the game, and a lot of the guys who there were some injury concerns about, the main two being Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, were not even given injury designations for the Super Bowl, so they will in fact play. And then on top of that, there were 4 players listed as questionable, those being Kenny Gainwell, Britton Covey, Brandon Graham, and CJ Uzomah. And while obviously we hope all those players can go, the main focus has obviously been on BG, as he's attempting to return from what we thought was a season-ending, possibly career-ending injury in hopes of going out on top with a Super Bowl victory. And based on everything coming out of practice before the team flew down to New Orleans, it really does seem like BG is trending towards playing.
So you feel like today was another positive step in the right direction?
Yes, yeah, another positive, exciting, heck of a practice by the guys, and we just taking it one day at a time and trying not to rush it, because we got less than 2 weeks together before this team is either gonna be royalty for us, the other stuff. But we plan on finishing the deal. So we just got to keep putting the work in so that everything can show up on Sunday.
How has BG looked so far through?
He looked good. He was out there today flying around. So talking mess. So yeah, man, I was super happy for him. I mean, he talked about it before the NFC Championship that he has. If he won, he was going to have a chance to play. So I know he's excited. Everybody's excited for him. He broke us down, at the end of practice today. So
yeah, seeing him fly around today at practice was reassuring that he's ready because he was out there working some guys today. So he looked like his old self again, and it's pretty special that he could come back for us this moment, and especially breaking down the team, just giving him every chance that you get. That was his message. Embrace it and just cherish those moments.
Yeah, so again, not only does it seem like BG is going to play, but it also seems like he's pretty much fully healthy. So that's obviously fantastic news and a scary thing to hear if you're Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, because getting BG back is only going to give a boost to an Eagles defense that's already the best in the world and just an absolute nightmare for opposing offenses to go up against. And here's to hoping that BG can make an impact and end his career off right with a Super Bowl victory. But now, real quick, I want to take a minute to talk about the sponsor of today's video, MyBookie. The conference championships are officially over, and with Super Bowl 59 between the Eagles and Chiefs on the way, MyBookie allows you to get in on all the action. As whether you want to bet on the straight-up outcome of the game, the spread, the point total, or the over-under on player stats, along with a variety of other things, MyBookie really does have something for everybody. Plus, you can take advantage of their risk-free Thursdays, as utilizing this offer, if you place a bet that doesn't hit, then they'll refund you your deposit up to a certain amount. In addition, MyBookie also offers a variety of games on their online casino that you can win big with, plus they offer a variety of other unique opportunities as well. And if you sign up today using my promo code PhillyFan, you'll receive an extra 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000 along with a $10 casino chip. But most importantly, guys, please, please, please gamble responsibly. And if you do have a gambling problem, then please seek help and call 1-800-GAMBLER. And again, thank you to MyBookie for sponsoring today's video. Now, the Eagles offense is no doubt going to have a real challenge in this game, as not only is the Chiefs defense really good talent-wise with the players they have, but they also obviously have a phenomenal defensive coordinator running things in Steve Spagnuolo, whose creativity and situational aggressiveness can create issues for any offense. However, it does seem like there is one part of the Eagles offense that Spags and the Chiefs may not quite be ready for. And luckily, it's the thing that the Birds do best in running the football with Saquon Barkley. As despite the fact that KC's defense hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 18 straight playoff games, they have allowed an average of almost 150 rushing yards per game during these playoffs, and both Joe Mixon and James Cook had above-average days in terms of yards per carry when they faced KC's defense. So I feel like it's fair to say that Saquon Barkley is a clear advantage for the Eagles in this matchup, as the star running back is averaging 147 yards per game alone in these playoffs, while also being just 30 yards shy of having the most rushing yards in NFL history in a single season. Plus, Spags and the Chiefs are also unfamiliar with Barkley, as they have never once faced the superstar running back up until now, so that's only going to make it even harder for them to be prepared for this already impossible matchup. So, as much as I can't deny that the Chiefs do have a really good defense and Spags' main focus is surely going to be trying to slow down Saquon, I still have the confidence to say that I actually like Barkley's odds to have another big game in the Super Bowl. And I feel a similar way about DeVonta Smith, because up to this point in his career, he's played really well against Spagnuolo and the Chiefs, as in the 3 games that they've seen each other, Smitty has put up 7 catches for 122 yards in his rookie season, 7 catches for 100 yards in Super Bowl 57, and 6 catches for 99 yards in a win over the Chiefs in Arrowhead last year. So why would I expect any different this time around? And then, of course, KC also can't forget about the other weapons the Birds have on offense, which include one of the scariest wideouts in the entire NFL in A.J. Brown, one of the best tight ends in the league who was having a fantastic playoff run in Dallas Goedert, and then, of course, quarterback Jalen Hurts, who is capable of hurting a defense in a variety of ways. Like, the Eagles' offense just has so many ways that it can hurt you, on top of the fact that they don't turn the football over, and they finally unleashed the full potential of their offensive strategy and scheme with what they did last game against the Commanders. So, assuming they do that again and they play up to their standard, I like their chances against any defense, including the Chiefs. But now, switching over to the other side of the ball, the Eagles seem to have a clear advantage on defense that could turn out to be crucial in helping Philly win this game. And that's the matchup between Jalen Carter and the Eagles' other interior defensive lineman versus Chiefs left guard Mike Caliendo. As Caliendo took over at left guard for the Chiefs after they moved Joe Thuney out to left tackle, and while he didn't start out too bad, his last 4 games haven't exactly been great. as Caliendo has allowed 13 pressures, 6 hurries, and has had a PFF grade of just 38, which, as Brendan Deeg pointed out, would be the second worst grade for a guard across the whole season. Plus, he also allowed a sack last week versus the Bills, so he is clearly a weak point on that Chiefs offensive line, and one that Jalen Carter and the rest of the interior of the Eagles D-line could look to take advantage of.
What kind of challenges do the Chiefs offense kind of give you, and what do you guys need to do as a D-line to limit Patrick Mahomes?
Sack him. That's the main goal.
Like Carter said, sacking Mahomes is going to have to be the main goal for the defensive line because that and getting pressure is just going to be absolutely key in the Birds coming away with this win. I mean, think about what happened in the one Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes lost, being Super Bowl 55 versus the Buccaneers. Like, the main reason that KC lost that game was because Mahomes and the offense were shut down, in large part because of the pressure Tampa Bay was getting. So, if the Eagles can recreate that, then that could be the secret to winning this game and becoming world champions. And targeting the mismatch with Caliendo could be a good start. Now, unfortunately, Jalen Carter typically lines up over the right guard rather than the left guard, so we probably won't see very many instances of those two going head-to-head. However, what we will see is double teams sliding to Jalen Carter's side because of how much of a force he is, leaving Caliendo one-on-one with the likes of Milton Williams and Moro Ojomo. And we know that both of those guys do a really good job getting after the quarterback, and both have the ability to win one-on-one matchups, so I would expect them to be able to wreak some havoc in this game, and I haven't even gotten to the Eagles' edge rushers, who we know are capable of wreaking havoc on their own, especially Nolan Smith, who has just been on an absolute tear and has had a historic postseason run so far. And he could potentially exploit a matchup with Chiefs right tackle Jawan Taylor, who has definitely had some struggles of his own recently. So I think this is certainly going to be an interesting matchup to watch, just being the Eagles' defensive line versus the Chiefs' O-line, and potentially one that heavily impacts the outcome of this game. And speaking of which, it seems like this Eagles D-line could get even better in the near future, as today we just got some shocking breaking news in the NFL, as Browns superstar edge rusher Myles Garrett has officially requested a trade from Cleveland via a statement that he posted on social media. And this is obviously crazy news, as Garrett is one of the very best players in the entire league, and his reasoning for requesting the trade is because he wants to compete to win a championship. So any team that he goes to is likely going to be a good team, and he should be able to make a tremendous impact. And shocker, one of the teams that's expected to be a potential suitor for Garrett is none other than the Philadelphia Eagles, as of course GM Howie Roseman is someone who has time and time again been able to pull off blockbuster moves. And as far as whether it's possible for him to do so here with Garrett, it is, as they have both the money and draft capital to get it done. And I've actually seen projections like this one from Anthony DeVonta suggesting that the Birds give up 2 first-rounders, the third from the Hassan Reddick deal, and Bryce Huff in exchange for Garrett. And offloading Bryce Huff in any possible way and also letting Josh Sweat walk in free agency would make a Garrett to Philly trade make way too much sense, especially since adding Garrett to a D-line that already features some rising stars like Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith could make the Eagles' pass rush almost unstoppable. And it seems like Garrett himself would actually like the idea of a move to Philly, as back in August of 2023 during an Eagles and Browns joint practice, he said, quote, "Everybody would love to play for Philly. Down the line, you never know. Maybe I'll play for Philly. Can't rule anything out." So this will certainly be a huge storyline to follow that I'll definitely be covering as the offseason gets going, but obviously right now we got something much more important to focus on with the Super Bowl being right around the corner. And you guys already know that I'm going to be continuing to cover all the news leading into the Eagles and Chiefs Super Bowl 59 matchup, so if you don't want to miss any of that, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. And also, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like to show some support, because it really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 600 likes on today's video. And also, leave a comment down below just regarding anything that I talked about in this video. And if you are interested, check out my bookie using my promo code and my link down in the description. Again, please gamble responsibly. And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this one out right here. And now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.